Hey guys, just want to make this video of my 29-gallon cichlid tank that I know I haven't shown, but I haven't really had them very long. I've only had them about 2 weeks, and the male is still very shy. Um, this has my male black convict cichlid and my female Honduran red point, or blue cichlid. And I'm making this video because they have spawned their first eggs, their first clutch for either one of them, and I'm so excited about it. I feel like I feel like a woman having a kid. Like it's taken forever, but these are my first cichlids, and so for you out there that have had cichlids a long time and know how much they reproduce, this may seem like nothing, but this is very exciting for me. I've only had live bears, which do not care for their young. In fact, they eat them, and so I'm really excited to see these fish actually care for them. That's the male. That's Clyde. He's hiding because he's very shy. He's only hiding because I'm sitting right here. He's normally out swimming about. The female is, of course, fanning the eggs. She's being a great mother. I'll see if I can get her. She's going to get really irritated at this. She's actually inside the pot, and I'm going to try and see if you can see the eggs without causing her too much stress. You see them right there. You see her colors are amazing. You see her stripes are getting darker. But yeah, those are the eggs right there. This is the pit the male has dug to put the eggs in when they hatch, which today's Monday. They should hatch by Thursday if they're fertile, if everything goes well. One last time, you see how empty this pot is. It used to look like that. You can see how much work they've put into it. This mound right here used to look like that because it is a moss ball. But that is where she has decided to deposit all the sand. And it's covered all these plants. The fern's been covered, but it's still sprouting new roots. The sword's still growing. This wisteria is stuff that has broken off the main group in the back that I've just grabbed from the surface and pushed down, because wisteria is the kind of plant where you just break it off in pieces and it'll regrow. So like a piece like that that's floating, just grab it, put it in the sand, it'll root and it'll grow. So all this wisteria was floating, so I just put it in a spot I knew where they didn't dig very much. Ugh. Like I said, I've never had cichlids, so I'm very excited about this. I saw the courting behavior this morning. I saw the females, her breeding tube dropped. So that was very noticeable, and that was one of the main signs. It was the first sign, actually. And then she started flashing her colors at the male. And then she was staying inside the pot. And when he would swim by, she would quickly swim out towards him and flare up. And her stripes would get very dark. And then, of course, he would ignore her. And so she would kind of swim next to him and kind of nuzzle him a little bit. And then she would, do the thing cichlids do where they kind of shake their head. That's one thing I love about these cichlids, is that the female is the one that kind of seduces the male, which is why the female has more color than the male. This little Otto. I'm surprised he hasn't been killed. He's the only other living fish in here. This air stone I just put in there a few days ago because I saw the breeding tube, so I know she was getting ready to drop. And I know females have to fan the eggs constantly, which is what she's doing in there. She's pushing water over the eggs so that they get enough oxygen. And so to kind of help her out with that, I put that in there just to help aerate the water some more. The temperature in this tank is about 82 degrees. And the filter, I kind of fixed up a little bit. It's an Aqueon. I should have turned my light on. It's an Aqueon filter, but it's not Aqueon filter cartridges. This is actually top fin cartridges you buy in bulk for large tanks. I bought them for my 75-gallon tank when it was on my turtle tank before I got a canister. And the first one has carbon inside of it. And then the second one behind it is just filter floss, pretty much. So it's just double protection. But what I love about the Aqueon filters is also this area right here. I don't see this much on other filters, and that is, or hang-on filters, and that is an area to grow biological media, which is what this will do. As the water passes through, it'll start to grow bacteria, and that will help with the tank. This tank is also not done cycling. That's how quickly these guys bred. Or spawned, I should say. This tank had been up for about a month. But because there was no fish in it, when they were put in, it had to go through its cycling process again. It's almost done. I do about 15 to 20% water changes every 3 days. Tomorrow should be water changing day, but I'm going to kind of see how she feels in the morning. Because I can already tell she's stressed out. She just laid her eggs. Probably right now it's about 7 o'clock at night. She probably laid her eggs about 5 hours ago. So I just want to make sure she doesn't get too stressed out. And the water seems pretty good, so I might wait until Wednesday to do it. Their food, I do not follow the instructions on the case, which says like 2 to 3 times a day for as much as they can eat in like 5 minutes or something. I feed them 5 times a day, as much as they can in 30 seconds to a minute. And to actually do that, I actually sit here and actually feed them myself. And by that, I don't mean I just drop the food in and walk away. What they get is this Marineland Cichlid pellets. And this is really good because it has spirulina. I think that's how you pronounce it, which is really good for cichlids, and it really helps their color. The female also likes beta food, and I think it's because it's a lot smaller. Here's some cichlid pellets floating up here, and I thought there was a piece of beta food up here, but it's really, really tiny, so it's easier for her to swallow. Usually when she eats the cichlid pellets, she has to, you know, bite it and then kind of spit it out in pieces and then eat the pieces. And also the beta food sinks faster. They also get generic flake food, and that is mostly because the male is so shy that usually he won't come out and eat if I'm here. And so the flake food is really good about just kind of going all over the tank. So wherever he's hiding, he will feel safe enough to at least eat whatever's coming to him. And same thing with their frozen food. They get thawed out bloodworms and thawed out brine shrimp. And I do not drop the cube in there because that's way too much. I put it in a plastic bag, just like this. This one's empty, just like that. And I melt it, and then I use just regular feeding tongs and just pick up a pinchful and put it in the water and let them eat it, and keep doing that for about 30 seconds. And then whatever's left over in the bag, just put it back in the freezer and do it all again the next day. Thaw it back out and do the same thing. And that saves a lot. It helps my filter. It keeps me from having to just throw it away. So yeah, I recommend that. Here he comes. There's Clyde. He's like, get me out of here. He's so funny. In case you haven't noticed, their names are Bonnie and Clyde. And that is because Bonnie and Clyde is one of my favorite musicals on Broadway. Well, it's not anymore. starring Jeremy Jordan and Laura Osnes. Didn't last very long, about a month, and then it was canceled. But to me, it's an amazing show, and I've always loved the story of Bonnie and Clyde. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it without getting people yelling at me, saying that they were murderers and stuff, which I don't really. Okay, I'm not going to go into that. Bottom line is, I don't think Bonnie did anything wrong other than follow him. But anyways, getting off track. And I was listening to that soundtrack actually when I was in the car, and I brought them home, and then I was actually watching the show on my TV when they were getting acclimated in the bag in the tank. And I was singing along, and then I was like, oh, it fit. And I know a lot of people name their cichlid pairs Bonnie and Clyde because they're cichlids, and they will pretty much kill anything living in the tank. Kind of what people think Bonnie and Clyde did. That's a cool reason to name them that, but that is not my story behind it. Mine is just my, again, musical theater passion, and loving that show makes me cry every time I see it, and makes me cry every time I listen to it. And if you guys have never seen it or heard it, I recommend you look up the songs Dying Ain't So Bad, This World Will Remember Us, and Picture Show. And maybe even, what's that other song? Oh man, I can't remember. But yeah, and you will be blown away. And for you musical theater people out there, and she was nominated for a Tony for this show, and Laura Osnes was nominated for a Tony in her role as Cinderella. So, again, I'm getting way off track. My gosh, ADD much? Okay. So I'm going to end this video, or else I'm just going to be ranting on and on and on. So yeah, I will definitely make a video of these eggs when they hatch. The only thing I'm a little irritated at is, you know, Bonnie's colors are amazing, but Clyde's really hasn't changed very much. In fact, he just looks... My cat does that whenever there's a light. Like a laser pointer. She's the only cat we've ever had that does that. It's so weird. She's such a weird cat. But I will definitely do update videos on these fry, and these fry will be available for sale. I'm going to put some of them downstairs in the turtle tanks. Again, as much as these guys reproduce, some of them will probably end up being feeders. Is she gonna come out? No, she's just checking things out. So, I will probably be putting an ad on Craigslist for them. Not really expecting to sell much, so many of them, just because they are so common and there's such prolific breeders that they're, you know, I don't know. It's like trying to sell a kitten on Craigslist. Like, there's millions out there. What are the odds that yours is going to get picked? So, but I will try. I will not ship them. That is a definite, just because I'm not comfortable. I've never done it, so I don't know how, and I'm just not comfortable with it. But these should be some pretty looking fry. And I can't wait for them to hatch. And I will definitely update you guys.